The Weekend Podcast on Vox Markets with Justin, Peter and Steve. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Happy birthday, Justin.
Happy birthday, Justin.
Yeah. 50, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right, I'm 50. All right, then, I tell you what, what's nice? In fact, welcome to the Weekend Podcast. Paddy, Pete, Steve here, and Pad's watching the cricket apparently in the background, but is it going well there, Pad, for England?
Yeah, it's going great.
It'd be nice just to get out there for a bit of sun, wouldn't it, you know? This weather over here is dreadful, isn't it?
It does look glorious out there.
Do you know what's nice about being 50 is that I get so many pre-written happy birthdays from strangers on LinkedIn. It's really nice. They just hit that happy birthday button. I reply back and hit that thank you button. And they come back with you're welcome button. It's like all automated. What's the point of that? What's the point of strangers just hitting one button? There's no feeling or emotion in it whatsoever. It's completely removed, isn't it? It's mad. Are you guys on LinkedIn?
Is that hints that you want me to hit the happy birthday?
Yeah.
No. It's like, that was when do you remember it's in that picture once, Pete? It was of a polar bear looking through a cabin in the forest, and he said, "Excuse me, would you like to join my professional network?" that's the invitation they send out today when you connect with someone on LinkedIn. My professional network. It's like nuts. What's the point of that? Does anyone use LinkedIn? All I see on there is people like, you know, business mentors and all that stuff, and I thought, all that kind of nonsense.
It can be pretty useful, but you have to be on the full subscription, which is like £60 a month or something. It's insane.
What?
To be able to actually send people messages that aren't in your network.
But the thing is, though, that if you want that, surely you're out of work, so that's quite not kind of split.
Yeah. The thing is, ideally, they're kicking you right in the wallet when you need stuff in your, you've got nothing in your wallet, you know. So no. I think it's also headhunting. It's good for jobs, I suppose, isn't it? And
it's not just recruitment, though. I mean, I know what you mean, and some sectors use it more than others. And it is quite a good sort of networking, sharing information tool.
Oh, well, there we are then. I'm glad I got all those happy birthdays to get back to. I got back to them all. They start coming back, you're welcome. And I don't reply again. I don't get in this spiral of just automated replies, you know, to tie me up for days. But no, to be honest, I got to say, a lot of CEOs of small caps are on there, and I quite often chat to them on there. And
exactly.
So it's quite handy. In fact,
it's probably their assistant doing it, not them.
No, it's no. In fact,
probably just the like range of buttons.
Do you know? Yeah, exactly. In fact, do you know what? The new company I'm going to revealing. I've been chatting to the guy at CEO on there as well. And so that's what I say. And I'll be revealing that very soon with my new project. You like that? Pete did a little graphic there. SharePickers Investment Club.
Yeah.
It's not far away. So it's a pre-launch. It's going to happen. Pre-launch. Certain parts of the site are going to be available.
You teased it on Twitter, and I love some of the responses.
Yeah.
Very positive response.
Yeah, you see people also listen to the podcast more than we think.
Exactly.
There's one guy. There's actually people listening. There's one guy there said. He said, "Will this club be sharing interesting stories about a shoeshine boy called Warren Buffett who found buying Bitcoin harder than Olympic diving? If so, I'm in." And another guy said, "Share Club top 10 holdings prediction. Number 1, escape hunt. Number 2, escape hunt. Number 3, escape hunt. Number 4, Gfinity. Number 5, Gfinity. Number 6, on the market. 7, Illica. 8, Trackwise. 4, C4XD.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
10, BT.
He's kind of nailed it there.
Yeah, number 10, BT.
Yeah. So that's an old one from the past. So, Steve, are you still in BT?
Sadly, yes.
God. What is that now?
See, the problem is we originally got into it for the... What was the pence game we were doing? I can't remember. I think it was
15 trades to £1 million.
That's the one, yeah. And we put
a million trades to £1 million. That's more like it. Yeah, go on.
It was something like that, wasn't it? I think it was like £1,000 we put into it or something. And then I think it went down quite significantly. And I thought, I want to get my money back here. So I chucked a load of money in to try and average down. And obviously it just kept going down, didn't it, now? So that average down has turned into a hole.
A deeper hole.
Yeah, so... And I, you know what it's like. I refuse to cash out when it's like that. It's, there's a potential chance at one time in like 2050 it might come back. So I'll just hold on to it.
Sometimes you've got to cash out, though. You know, I mean, especially about big stocks when they are like super tankers. Once the trend starts going in one direction, you can't stop it. And they keep going on. It can go on for years. Literally, BT has the trend in BT now. And the worrying thing is, it looks like it's going to break the trend. It breaks up above that 200 moving average, and then it ducks back down again. What's going on? So literally,
how far down are you, Steve?
50%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can even think it's one of those weird companies where its market cap is so far below what it's actually worth as constituent parts. If you was to buy that and break it up, you'd make some decent money.
Well, they should do that now, shouldn't they? Why didn't they do that? They've been talking about that for ages, like breaking off that. Open reach? Yeah. Because and they're not doing it. Just do it.
Would they still get? Would they, if that was to happen, if someone was to buy them, would they jump up by more than 50%? I don't know.
Once the trend starts,
it has to go up by 100% for Steve.
Yeah. Good. Yes, that's the maths.
It seems unlikely.
Which is where you've got to go into small caps to recover that.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I will sell it, but 50% is quite down. So I'm just looking for like a potential news someday where it goes up by like, I don't know,
100%,
30%, so, I don't know, something like that. You know, I can just go, okay, right, I feel a bit better about selling it now.
Well, I'm looking at the chart, right, and it broke. It literally was bouncing along that pound level. See, everyone talks about charts and technical analysis, and there's a lot in it, of course, but sometimes
you do.
A simple, round number does it. You know, it's like the share price is like a magnet to a round figure, and so it's bouncing at that £1 level for a long time, and then it bounced up on 10th of November. Well, that was vaccine day, wasn't it? 9th, 10th of November, vaccine day, yeah.
Everyone uses their phone when they get vaccinated.
Yeah. So that's when Pfizer came out with the vaccine thing. And so it punched above the 200 moving average. To be honest, Steve, it's looking all right now. I mean, the 200 moving average is turning around upwards, and it hasn't that... do you know what? It hasn't done that since... 2019, where it rose up again. It was doing it then, but it failed. But surely £1 at that. But then it was 2.75. So now at £1, it's cheap.
Crazy. What's the market cap?
So BT, it's about 10 billion, is it? 12 billion.
Mental.
Crazy. Go on.
What percentage of your portfolio have you got, Steve? Live percentages with Steve Martin.
Yeah, it's something like 2-3%.
Okay.
It's not a massive amount now.
You're all right. Sometimes though, holding on to that, honestly, if you had a bigger position, it was obviously before, but that you've got to get rid of it sometimes, and to just realise, look at the money you've got, and then just sell it, get rid of it, and move on. Sometimes.
But that's it. I think because it's not like a resource company, it's BC, a big blue chip. It's only 3%. I'm just kind of go, do you know what? Someday that might come back. So I'm just happy to leave it there. To be honest, it's not bothering me.
Yeah. And I love the. This has been a new sort of management in there. They're trying to turn it around. So hopefully, they'll sort of start that. I've been doing it for a long time, but they're going to have to do something because they're
start a shareholder rebellion, Steve.
Yes,
you need to be an agitator. You need to get them to split themselves up.
Yeah.
Shareholder value.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And the thing is, Pete makes a good point, really, right? One of the filters there, I look at now when I look at companies is market cap. Right? Not even dabble. You've got to have an area of competence where you like, you're comfortable with, and if you want to make decent gains, you've got to go down the market cap. There's more risk but more reward, but you can reduce that risk by just doing certain quality checks, like cash, looking at the chart as it's popped already or not. Those kind of things can make sure you're not going to sit on a loss for a while, and just basically make sure it's not completely overvalued before you buy it. And so that's it's important, I know, but
I mean that's mentally undervalued though, isn't it? Like they bought EE for 13 billion. Like one part of their company is worth more than the whole company. Like OpenReach is probably worth the same. Let the fixed stuff, the international stuff, I mean,
what is it with their pension problem though? They got a pension,
their market cap,
and they got a pension gap or some deficit, something ridiculous. So that
it's like 10 billion, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So the size of the company. So you add that on top, it would be double that. But it'll be fine. I think slowly it'll take a while. But like I said, I don't know, just cut fast sometimes. Get out, cut fast.
If I find another small cap, which I think desperate, it could easily double, quite quickly, I probably would pull out of that, but. Yeah. At the moment, I've got a bit of cash.
Steve, sign up to the SharePickers Investment Club, and
tell me more.
There'll be one coming along very soon.
When are you releasing more information on this?
Well, I don't know. It depends on the developer. The site
he's made it up.
Yeah, I know. The site is there. The design's all done. It's ready to go. All I need at the moment. There's different sections, right? Different sections to the site. There's there's a learning section. So basically, it's for anyone who wants to learn about stocks and shares or loves stocks and shares. Wants to bang around. So a learning section. There's a stock idea section. There's a company section where I will be just interviewing companies that I think has potential. Not having to interview all different types of companies. So it'll be very filtered on that. There'll be company updates. There'll be my strategy there, my returns, and what I like about this, there'll be a live Q&A once a week on Zoom. Just be a bit like this, but on video with people who just maybe got some stock ideas, or maybe I'll ask questions. Just have a bit of a laugh. Stocks and shares, the club, guys. Join the club, and
right. The merch.
So what you're saying, it's a bit like a WhatsApp group, but anywhere to get involved.
Oh God!
Yeah, I'm extending that franchise. Yeah, so
yeah. A lot of people have showed interest in our WhatsApp.
But do you know what? It's about everything. So in the learning section there's several different bits where you can from getting started to just basics. So basically, it's everything to get you started up until anything. Sort of more advanced stuff. If you like stocks and shares, join the club. That's what it's about.
We're up to your first million, yeah.
What's that?
Like us. Yeah. So you get your first million.
Yeah, well, no, you just want to. Is there anything? If you enjoy something, you want to be with like-minded people, And
will it ever progress to actually being a physical club? And if so, can we have a shoe shine point in the reception, please?
Yes, do you know what? It's a good idea. It could be a physical club. When lockdown has ended, in fact, when lockdown has ended, maybe it's going to happen. It's going to happen, right? But I will reveal that. So first of all, the first section will be.
Sorry, you can take over one of those empty shopping centres.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Justin Waite's SharePickers Investment Club.
I can imagine that. You turn up. Do you know, like sometimes you go to conferences and they hire entertainment, and at your entertainment, it's just shoe shiners all down the thing. Everyone just gets their shoe shines.
Just begging for investment advice and not getting any.
Yeah. Well, Steve, you can be on reception there, Steve. It'd be nice.
Okay, cool, wicked.
Yeah. No, but did you see that today? Andy Haldane, do you know who he is?
Rings a bell.
Did you know anyone? Any takers? You guys, you're in the sort of finance area. Andy Haldane is the chief economist for the Bank of England. Me, chief economist. You, nobody. Yeah.
You smoke up investor.
Yeah, me, chief economist. The UK economy is like a cold spring, ready to release large amounts of pent-up financial energy. That's what he's saying. And he reckons, he said, thanks to the vaccine programme, the economy will be firing on all cylinders by spring. And he's the latest of economists who reckon there's going to be a sharp rebound in growth after an expected easing of restrictions. The turn in sentiment was likely to be rapid, he said. A light being flicked on, rather than a dimmer switch, he reckons is going to happen. He said, we want shared experiences. He said, from pubs, sports to cinemas, will all benefit. He said, and he's missing out one thing there, isn't he?
Laser Quest.
Escape rooms he's missing out there. But the thing is...
Bowling.
Yeah, bowling. What's going to happen? He said, and he mentioned all. He said, obviously, some businesses are suffering. Some of them, but some of them have saved money. Some households have saved money by not going out, strengthen their finances, and they will be spending. He said that may mean 2 pubs, cinema, or restaurant visits a week rather than one for the first couple of weeks. And so he said there will be a boom. They reckon. I think that's going to happen. I really do.
I think there's some truth in that.
People are desperate to get out and socialise a little bit. And it's getting to the stage now where we're there. We're almost there. If you look at the figures, it's dropping off a cliff now. The hospital admissions down at 1,800. It was over 4,000 at the peak. And this is, like I said, there's help by the vaccine. It's not just being locked down. The people who get to hospital are generally above the age of 80. 80% of hospital admissions are above the age of 80. They're now vaccinated. And there's good figures on... you can't transmit it. Pretty much it doesn't transmit if you've been vaccinated, so it's very good. Did you see the stats from Israel? Phenomenal. They're saying, like, if you get double vaccinated, double dose, the chances of you getting ill, again, are 0.04%. The chances of you being hospitalised are 0.002%. So, it's going to those figures, there'd be no one going to hospital with COVID, pretty much all.
And they're also saying that I think in France and Italy now, they're not. If you've had COVID and you've had the first dose, you're not getting a second dose because there's no need. It adds up to the same thing.
Yeah. And so and also the thing is, because our vaccination program is quite advanced and Israel's quite advanced, I think, of the travel, hospitality and leisure sectors, travel for a bit will still be a bit of a laggard because you can't travel to other countries because they may not be vaccinated as well. We've still got these hot spots around. So I think maybe some later bargains to be had in the travel and holiday things because obviously they won't bounce back. Maybe they'll bounce back in sentiment, in sympathy with the other. But I think leisure, domestic hospitality and leisure will do very well. So, I'm not going to mention any names, but, restaurants, cinemas, escape rooms, all that kind of stuff, will do quite well.
Right, okay.
It's gone down quite a bit this week, though, isn't it?
Do you know what? Do you know what? Someone on Twitter, let me just say, who is it?
Me.
Khalid on Twitter, right, just pointed out 2 big trades. Yeah, have you been selling, Steve, or what? Have you been buying? No, if Steve's buying, it's going down. Steve's selling, it's going up. So, 12th of Feb, right? That's my birthday yesterday. There were 2... it's marked
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. It was marked up as a buy. 1.5 million, 2 sets of 1.5 million, 24 pence. That's 360 grand. That may be a bed and ISA thing. Maybe swapping over to ISA. I don't know what that is. But I don't know why it went down because there was a lot of buys there. Some big chunky buys as well. Like
in what now? Sorry,
Escape Hunt. This was. It went down 5-6%, and so did Gfinity.
What did they do?
Yeah, well, I'll get into that later. But it's so annoying because it's almost saying, like I said on Twitter, Mr. Market saying to you, "Happy birthday," and I'm going to kick you right in the portfolio. It's like some of my stocks there really got a bit of a tanking yesterday. But look at those buys there: 12 grand, 360 grand. There's some big chunky buys in this game. I don't know what's going.
Buys, are they?
Well, you can never know. They're just it's obviously based around the. Bid offer, so
why can you never know? Why don't you just say buy?
You can when the spread's big enough to kind
of... Yeah, of course.
I mean, the value of the actual purchase, right? Yeah.
The thing is, if the transaction goes through close to the asking price, obviously they say it's a buy. If it's the bid, then it's a sell. So. Yes, that's all you can do. So
it's strange that they release that information but don't just put buy next to it, don't they?
Well, they do really, but there's buys next to it. Also,
they do, yeah.
Yeah, but it's more
by the price. Yeah,
it's more likely to
actually just make it clear and just say buy.
Well, no, some websites do that. They show it as a buy and a sell. But there's also a suggestion just based on the price of the transaction. So it's
Harry, just make it a pad. That's why.
Yeah.
I only use Vox Markets.
Yeah. No, well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I'm bad.
Exactly. It's hard to know, isn't it? What I'm saying is...
So that was what was happening with Brandshield then? Because I was saying that obviously they had a cracking RNS this week and really clear to the point that even I could understand it. And it went up a bit and then ended up down at the end of the day, and the following day it went down even further. And I was thinking, I just don't understand. You have such good news and then it goes that far down.
Well, all I can say is when you have an IPO or reverse takeover like that, you've got a lot of legacy holders that hold other companies, or people in the fundraise at the start, pre-IPO, just get in there and just want to take a profit, essentially. So there may be a bit of that, profit taking on news, bit of liquidity, it rises and they just sell. And that happens a lot. And but if you look at Brandshield, I'm quite encouraged there. I mean, it's from a low base, but there's 71% increase in annual recurring revenue to 3.2 million. That's good. It was from 1.9 previously. 85% increase in new business annual recurring revenue, and 47% increase in revenue, 2.6, which is good. It's a low base. It's still. That's 10 times the valued on 10 times revenue, so it's still quite a high multiple there. But that growth is very good. They're very encouraged by saying they said normally H2 is stronger than H1, but H1 has been quite strong, so that's an encouraging trend. So you've got to give it a bit of time, I think, haven't you? It's going in the right direction. And also, I'm always encouraged sometimes, if the share price goes down, the company becomes cheaper, So they are now 26 million market cap. That's not a lot. If they're going to do well. Is Paddy you serving drinks, Pad?
Yeah, Paddy's making tea, isn't he?
Coffee.
Is it half time in cricket? It's tea time.
Is that allowed?
Half time in the cricket. A big cricket fan there, Justin.
Yeah. No, I don't see the point.
It's tea time.
Do you watch cricket?
I tend to watch highlights more than full games.
I tell you what I do watch is rugby. Oh, what happened there, then,
there he is.
Oh, cocky England, come out. Oh, let's be honest, Pete, you're predicting they were a winner, but now, what happened there, then? What happened there, hey?
Can I just say, I wasn't... I said last week on the podcast that it doesn't always pan out as expected to be, and I wasn't that confident. I don't know whether it was going to be Scotland that would beat us, but,
Scotland were great, though, weren't they?
Yeah.
That was down to Scotland playing well.
But it was a well-deserved victory. And Wales did well. It'll be interesting to see Wales against Scotland, because Scotland will play with 15 men. So that's going to be quite hard.
That's a bit bitter, isn't it? If you'd won, would that have come out? If you'd won, see bitterness. There's a lot of bitterness on Twitter as well. You should go to a bit bitter. If someone wins in the stock, just thank them. Do well. So well done, because the money's coming back in the market anyway. It's good for you. It's good for everyone. It's good for Pete, look, because he did lost. It's a funnier sport. The two favourites lost first two games, pretty much. So, favourites win. You never always bet on the underdog in the two-horse race. Bet on the underdog every time.
France are favourites and were favourites.
I mean, for those games, England was favourite, and
France are the ones to watch, aren't they? It'd be interesting to see if they're as good as they look they can be.
Yeah.
But if Scotland win today, wow.
I know.
Really
well,
does,
look, and do you know what? It's like they seem to have that confidence now, don't they? If you beat England like that, 38 years they haven't done it for, pretty much, and so that's typical. No one was there.
Paddy is our Scottish representative.
And Paddy, hang on, every year, you say you bet on Scotland to win the Six Nations just for a bit of a joke and an outsider bet, and then this year you didn't do it.
Just because I was so certain that France were going to win.
Well, you never know. You'd be gutted now when Scotland won. Scotland's they've got the momentum, momentum in stocks as well as sport and everything.
We weren't that far away last year either, if you remember.
Yeah. No, they did. I mean, I don't think. I think Wales can have a problem against them today. Severe.
Yeah, me too.
I thought that against England though, and look what happened. See, yeah. What's happened now with England there? What happened then, Pete? Quickly, what happened? What's going on there?
Well, who knows? Was the autumn a little bit of a bit of a myth, and it was just actually covering up a lot of problems. The thing I noticed about the game was we seemed to be just kicking everything. I know the weather wasn't great and all that, but I don't know why we were just kicking away possession the whole time. So who knows? The tactics just seemed to be a little bit wrong, and Scotland capitalised on that,
didn't they? Yeah.
There you go.
For once, Scotland didn't give the ball away constantly and didn't constantly give over penalties, so it's nice.
Yeah, do you know what? Did you see that thing that Wasim's launched? Gfinity, going back to socks, by the way.
Socks.
Yeah, socks.
Rugby socks.
Did you see...
did you finish about Brandshield? What was the conclusions on that?
I didn't say that, didn't I? I said, no, I just said, let's get some sellers in there, but give it some time to bed in. It's only been listed for a while. The figures are good growth. There's good growth there. And listen, that's why stocks rise, because of growth. When you see growth there, they can do that.
Can I make an observation?
Yes.
The weekly Zoom call with 100 people or whatever is going to be quite chaotic if we can't control a 4-person podcast.
You're going to have everyone on mute, aren't you?
You can raise your digital hand and chat, come in, and then I'm not going to have 100 people chatting over each other. That'd be insane. You imagine
that council meeting.
That was cracking, that council meeting. I tell you what, some cracking things are coming from Zoom, aren't they, recently?
The cat this week have been absolutely... I was crying at the cat.
I got to say,
absolutely killed me.
That's nuts. I saw that on the Twitter on the evening, and I put it in the WhatsApp group. And that was quite funny. And then I woke up next day, it's everywhere. I thought, what the heck?
It really flew, didn't it?
Yeah. It was, that was funny. The guy's voice suited the cat. Sorry, Judge. And he was like a cartoon voice, wasn't he? It worked very well.
It was the eyes that did it for me.
Yeah.
Just looking so pensive.
I'm prepared to go ahead with it if you are. I'm not a cat. That's me live. So we can see that.
Yeah, the words "I'm not a cat."
I know he's obviously panicking, wasn't he? Because I'm not a cat. That's me. That is me. I'm live.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I got really excited about this. I wrote up a film treatment based on that scenario, where it's like a sort of Disney thing where like swap realities and the geezer turns into a cat and stays a cat. So I wrote up this whole thing. I got really excited about it. I was about to send it to a producer friend of mine, and then I just thought I'd check to see if someone had made anything similar. And 5 years ago, someone made exactly that film.
Did they?
A lawyer who turns into a cat overnight because his daughter wants to see more of him, and then they have to try and break the spell.
I thought, yeah, well, do you know what?
Wow.
There's a similar one to that as well about a snowman. Michael Keaton, you know, and he turns into a snowman. He's always working and stuff like that, or doing stuff for the band. Yeah. And then he turns into a snowman because his son wants to spend more time with him. And
format.
Mrs. Doubtfire is a similar format.
Yeah, yeah, it is a very similar format. But yeah, I see that, and they turn out they like it. They like that life more than their life they've had. I know. Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, stocks and shares.
Oh, we're talking about Brandshield.
Brandshield.
Yes, Brandshield. Yeah, no, let's give it a bit of time. It's one of the things I give it a bit of time. Again, always scale in. I'm not fully exposed as yet to Brandshield. Always scale in, because you never know what in the first time. If you go full on into a stock straight away and the story evolves to the point where it's not really working out, you've got a problem then, you know. I can't think of an analogy, but if it's almost like edge into... If you got a garage in a car, you don't just drive into the garage in 100 miles an hour. If it's an unknown garage as well, an unknown car, you've got to pull in slowly. You know, you don't know what's in there. You know, so and then edge it in, and that's that. So
and then what happens?
And hopefully you get the car in the garage. and it turns out the garage is the garage. There's nothing in there surprising. It's fine. It's a nice fit. You know, there we are. So,
so you, when we were asking you about Brandshield, you said that you would look at this latest set of figures to decide whether it was a one to really stick with.
Yeah, well,
did that set of figures reassure you?
The thing's there, isn't it? The growth is there. So this will have to continue, though. This growth will have to continue. Of course, it will. But the growth is there.
The big blue chip names that have got as clients already.
Yeah,
was the thing that I just thought.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think that's a decent company, isn't it?
Yeah, I think. Listen, there's an issue where, of course, I don't think there's a lot of people in this space, but it's a big space and it's a growing space. Like I said, now the amount of people being, hacked or their brands being ripped off is growing exponentially because everyone's online, and so it's a massive market, a fast-growing market. They are listed companies, so they've got that leverage of having access to capital, and they seem to have some good clients. So, yeah,
I sort of think those clients, they would have done their due diligence. That's an endorsement for me anyway. If those kind of companies are going, I don't know, that's a good sign for me that it's a decent company, and I'm happy to be invested.
Yeah, that case that they said there, 429 sites of Levi sites they took down in 1 month. They probably, I don't know where these sites are, into Russia or something. You want to buy some Levi's? They're very nice, but they took those down. Right. Yeah, so that's impressive. But let's give it a bit of time. Let's look at the charts then. Let's always look at the chart. Yeah, it seems to me. I did say if you look at my video, right? Actually, I did say it's risen a lot because obviously this is another thing. See, when I release a newsletter, people sort of jump in, push the share price up. It did, and people going nuts on it. I said, let it calm. I said in the video on the Sunday, let it calm down. It's probably going to come back to the mid-20s.
Very clear about that.
Yeah, I said let it calm down. So it can come to the mid-20s, and it's now at 23 pence. So it's there, and this is a good level of support here. So we need it to tick up a bit. But listen, it's getting cheaper. Give it a bit of time. It can get back to those high levels, no problem at all. Is this the opportunity? That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah, maybe. Yes. They don't need cash, do they? They don't need. They're growing, so it's fine. So, I think they could. It's fine. They calm down a bit. That's all. Let it settle in. Let it bed in. Give it a bit of time. When it listed literally on the 1st of December. So we're literally 2 months. 2 months in, and so if you. A good analogy. If you have a child, you don't throw it out for 2 months, do you? You don't say, "Oh, there's enough of that child." It's not. It can't drive a car. Can't do anything. That child, that baby, can't do anything. No. Give it a chance. Can't even get the car in the garage. No, can't even walk. What's going on here? Get rid of that child. And so you give it a chance. To let it find its legs, let it walk. At least let it find its own legs. I have a question going back on the whole thing of the economy ramping up after COVID and all the rest of it, and a bit like we were talking about last week, and potentially tied in with a little bit of a sell-off this week. There must be, am I looking at it too simplistically? There must be there is a finite amount of money that could go into the stock market, and for me personally, I don't have a lot of cash in my portfolio now because I'm fairly fully invested, and I know that you guys are as well. So if that's fairly typical, are we being optimistic to expect a massive spike in prices across the board as and when the brakes come off in the leisure stocks and all the rest of it? Or, like I said last week, is that some of that already priced in a way because people have
they've kind of become fully invested, or they are kind of being planning for the future now, rather than waiting for a big for the official.
Can we just say, can you keep the questions quite short, please? There's other people here trying to answer questions.
You weren't interrupting, so I was just.
Okay. You don't just carry on.
I was enjoying it, Pete.
Just carry on. Unless you jump in, I'll just carry on with the question. The rest of the podcast will be one question. And then when people will go shopping and we win shoes and stuff, you're going to jump in. It's hard to know, isn't it? Where if it's priced in. But I always say again, cliches work. They have a ring of truth to them because they endure because it's got a ring of truth. And I think it's a market of stocks. You've got to look at individual stocks. Is this overvalued? Is that what's the potential here? I mean, you can't just say I think everything's overvalued. Because I see a lot of that on Twitter at the moment. People getting bearish and saying, of course. I mean, listen, there's a bubble in the bubble here, and I think this is what's. Did you see that Tesla, Elon Musk? He literally bought 1.5 billion of Bitcoin, And I said, first of all, that is really worrying because everyone's trading Bitcoin. I had and I'll say, a CEO tell me pre-podcast this week that him and his son were into Bitcoin to trade, trying to beat each other. And I thought, right. And I thought, well, yeah, when it's going to crash, a lot of newbies going to get burned here, I think. He said, well, it's not, is it? It's only going one way. I thought, well, everyone says it's only going one way. It generally doesn't go that one way, When everyone thinks the market's going one way, it's a bad thing. And if you look at the bubble in the bubble, first of all, Tesla's regarded as super overvalued. I don't know if it is. How can you put a price on valuation? But what I know is there's more competition coming into the electric vehicle market, So Tesla's not going to be the sort of market leader there all the time. So maybe it is overvalued, and maybe it's pricing it to 10 years out. If you go 1.5 billion in Bitcoin, that pushes the price of Bitcoin up. Let's say now Bitcoin has a sell-off, right? That would reduce the value of Tesla. I mean, they've got about 18, 19 billion in cash anyway. But I just think sentiment-wise, if Bitcoin crashes, Tesla will crash. If Tesla crashes, I'm using crash and will fall.
Did you see that Tesla crashing in Glasgow?
Yeah.
That's a good video, isn't it?
I know. But do you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, for the first time ever, I think we could see here a crypto-led sell-off. Generally, what happens is the dash for cash previously, back in March, crypto sold off because the market sold off. But now crypto's so influential. There's so many big institutions in Bitcoin especially, that sells off. It could lead to a market sell-off, and at the moment, as you see, the price of Bitcoin is nuts. It's stratospheric. It is straight up, pretty much, and so it's a bit scary. And you think that can't continue.
Because the value of Bitcoin is then so tied into the values of these companies that if Bitcoin is crashing, they are worth less as well.
Yeah. People will sort of try and sell some, get out and sell it, and they'll forget selling, and then all these companies start worrying. So I did.
Maybe they take their money from Bitcoin and invest it in the stock market.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin will lead. As I'm saying, first time ever, I think Bitcoin will lead the market sell-off. Never happened. It's just showing the bigger influence that Bitcoin's having and the cryptos are having. Younger kids now are preferring to just trade crypto. Like I said, my nephew Henry's always talking about crypto to me. I don't really know much about it. I mean, all I know is this.
Soulless, isn't it?
Yeah, all I know is.
And I bet a lot of them are getting a stone on tax bills because I bet they're not paying their tax on it.
Yeah, well, they would probably want to admit to it, will they? Yeah. But I'm just saying, all I know is this: when a price rises that high, you can keep rising for a while, but sooner or later, it's going to fall off a little cliff. It's going to top the mountain. It's going to come back down, and that's what it is. The moment Bitcoin's just gone up and up, and it's like 47. I think again, round figure 50. It'll touch that. It'll come back. I was looking at the previous price with Glenn Goodman, who's a crypto trader on the podcast, and I say if you look back at 2017-18 where it crashed there, and 3 years in crypto winter it had, it's pretty much the same now. The levels on the RSI, and the RSI is the momentum is falling off a bit. The price is reaching new levels, which means it's not a strong rally. There's no momentum there. So I think...
what sparked the sell-off that time?
I think everyone's saying Bitcoin's going to the moon.
Right.
Everyone in it. Everyone's been super bullish on it. I say,
Shushan boy.
Yeah, Shushan boy, exactly. Out comes the Shushan boy. Out he comes with his Shushan kit, and you think, oh, well, here we go. He's kind of showing up his Bitcoin. Look at my Bitcoins. Look how shiny my Bitcoins are. And...
One sector that had a good week was oil and gas due to this kind of the recovery, if you like.
Yeah.
And I know Stephen and I are still in United Oil and Gas,
Yeah.
which had a nice spike up. But no, that's an example of where you could see a rally perhaps now as the oil price pushes on up as well in those kind of stocks. So it's going to be kind of sector specific, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what? Yes. Do you know what? Sometimes we overcomplicate. Humans always overcomplicate, right? And like, what's the oldest adage you've ever heard of the stock market? What's the oldest adage? What is it?
Buy high, sell low.
That's it.
Sell low, buy high. No, what was it?
Buy high, sell low.
Buy high, sell low. What are you doing? A Thai person, Steve? Buy high, sell low.
I couldn't get my words out.
Sell low. Who's low? Buy high, sell low.
Buy high, sell low.
So what happened to my voice then?
Buy high, sell low. Pardon? Buy high, sell low.
That foreign accent syndrome thing is so funny, though, isn't it? When Steve suddenly turned Thai halfway through a podcast.
That's fine.
You imagine that? I don't know what happened to my voice. I don't know what happened to my voice. I don't know it. Huh? What are you going to buy high, sell low? BD.
Yeah.
Escape.
Now over to our Southeast Asian correspondent, Steve Martin.
I've got a smart door. I got a smart door. You open smart door. The door turn the oven on. Smart door open. Smart door shut. When I turn telly on. Not very smart.
Christmas tree light.
Yeah, buy ice now. But no, listen, oil and gas. Oil and gas, essentially, when oil's been so hammered down, the sentiments... I talked about this with Russ on the... I pretty mentioned the weekend podcast, but Russ as well. We said, it's a good contrarian play, oil. The economy's going to come back, and people are going to start buying more oil again. Of course, it's not in favour, and it's going to be phased out over the next 20 years or whatever, and it'll take a long time to phase it out. But when sentiment is so negative, that's the opposite of what we're talking about. Sentiment is so positive on Bitcoin, it can only go one way. And that's a good saying. There's too many people on one side of the boat. What happens there? It tips over. And like I said, with oil, it was like so many people negative on it. There's going to be a good play there. It's so beaten down. You can't get beaten down any longer. Everyone who's sold has sold. There's only going to be buyers there now, and so that's what it. But with Bitcoin, everyone's in it, pretty much, apart from us.
Me and Pete are probably the only two people who want the petrol prices to go up in the forecourts, really.
Yeah, it's funny when the investment thesis takes priority over everything else, isn't it? It's like, I see people really, wanting COVID to go on and on and on because they're holding testing stocks, So, no, this won't be, they have new variants will kill people, there's new ones, well, they really want misery to just last, just so their portfolio will go up. It's like, come on, we're talking about people getting killed here. And you're just talking with your podcast. No, but yeah.
Well, not quite as bad as petrol prices going up, but yeah.
Yeah, it's Steve's turns on, and the petrol price has gone above £1.50. Yes, push that price up.
Well, do you know what I actually did? I was like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And I was like, right, how much do I spend on petrol? And what have I got? And you say, oh yeah, let's have the petrol price go up. That's good. Steve will be jacking up his car, and just put it in fifth gear, run it on his drive, just so use the petrol up. Everyone, come on, let's use more petrol. Everyone, that's the way forward. So anyway, by the way, another thing. No, do you know what I was going to go back to? I missed this. Do you see have you ever heard of Magic the Gathering? This is what Gfinity, they've set up a site there. That Epic Streams they bought, and it's like nerd culture, really it's geek culture, and it's massive. And I'm looking at it, they've set up a website now. Magic the Gathering, it's like these cards, but now it's got online. It's almost an e-sport. It's got online there, and that company they bought, Epic Stream, they possess one of the fastest growing MTG, which is Magic the Gathering communities. It's like all these dungeons, Dragons and Dungeons, what are they called? I don't know what they're called. But that... And this
Duncan and Dragon.
Yeah, Duncan and Dragon. That side and Game Workshop and all that stuff, that's a massive stock that's been going on. It's recession-proof, What's it? GAW. And a Game Workshop, and they do all that kind of stuff, where literally one of the best performing stocks, if you look back at this Game Workshop, it's now £104 a share, right? It was back in 2016, £4.50. A share, so it's done with 20 bags, and it keeps going. And this is one of the best trending stocks. Just trends up all the way because this niche, geek culture. That is recession-proof. These are people who play anyway in their dungeons and their bedrooms, whatever. But that Magic the Gathering that the Gfinity got hold of, Epic Stream's got one of the biggest communities there. The figures on that are unbelievable. In fact, I asked John about it. I said, "What is this Magic the Gathering? I don't know much about it." And I said, "Is it?" They just said, He said, launched that Friday, magicthegatheringrocks.com. He said, his numbers are impressive there. Hopefully going to do an update soon. But it's very impressive. And he said, the market of around 250 million into it, in the collectibles, the trading of game cards, the game cards essentially. He said now 3 million active users are playing it. They're doing it in arenas are starting to do it. There's competitions now. 11 million gamers this year it's gone up to. So it's gone from 3 million to 11 million. The total prize pool has gone to close to 2 million in 2020, making it the 17th highest game in esports. I've never heard of it. The Magic the Gathering. So 62 million hours.
Gfinity.
Yeah, well, no, Gfinity now. They've got the biggest Facebook community. Epic Streams own that Facebook page. They've now created a website.
You just explained what it is, and I still don't understand what it is.
Yeah. 62 million hours of MT was watched on Twitch. 62 million hours was watched on Twitch in 2020. He said, big opportunity after a good start. And he said, really is one of those. And those things you don't know anything about, and you realise there's a massive, strong community.
Yeah.
That's what, in fact, the SharePickers Investment Club will be like. Massive community. Get in the club, boys.
It's like really under the radar. No one knows about it.
Yeah. And it said that if you looked at their site, very slick. It's called mtgrocks.com, and that's based off their
There'll
Facebook.
be people playing with little iron models of you.
Yeah. And you
deserted shopping centres.
And you and Pete and Steve, they're little models of you guys saying, "I buy ice and low." This is Steve. Buy ice and low.
Yeah, you press the button on Steve.
Buy ice and low.
Buy ice and low.
Like the baddies. Who are the baddies going to be? I'm just going to name some really bad CEOs. Then I won't do that.
BT. They'll all be BT.
BT.
Okay, that does sound interesting. It is incredible the scale of gaming, but it's because it's a global market, isn't it?
But they're all about that music and sort of nerdy culture there, geek culture. I don't know what you
like those people don't do anything else, do they? They don't go out. They stay at home and play with their little goblins.
Yeah, and
that's kind of brought to front a bit with Stranger Things a bit, because that's what the kids in that did quite a lot, didn't they? They played like Dungeon and
well, what's going to happen though is that the website now, they're going to release a couple of websites from Epic Streams, and it's all into sort of nerdy sort of film culture as well. And isn't a Star Wars thing come out? Some of Disney. There's some big releases this year which will play into this area, Epic Streams websites very well, because whenever you get new releases from anything, from gaming, or it helps a lot, this area. So it's going to be very exciting. I think it's going to be a very good year for that Epic Streams buy that Gfinity did. It's going to be looking very smart, shrewd investment, because literally, it's a massive culture there that's under the radar.
When should we be expecting more news about the whole potential sale of Gfinity?
I've no idea. Formal sales process. I mean, I don't care if they call it off, to be honest, because as John said, it'll only be done if it's of value to shareholders, if they can accelerate their growth. And I don't know what that means,
He talked about it in the last update, didn't he? He said that it was progressing or something, but I mean, it's
progressing. It's continued to progress as planned. The company is engaged in conversations and the board evaluates the best options to accelerate the growth of the business. The guiding principle for the board has always been to ensure Gfinity can best capitalise on the potential market opportunity and can deliver shareholder value. The company will provide further updates when appropriate. I just had a WhatsApp then from Megan saying, "Do you want eggy bread?"
Oh yeah, go on, Megan.
That's smart.
Is that a euphemism?
I hope so, for my birthday. Yeah.
Birthday weekend.
What else? Anything else? So lockdown. In fact, listen. This is one of the lessons I always say when you talk about people coming into. I'm noticing now. Megan's brother, my nephew, they're all trying to get into investing somehow. Crypto. In fact, Megan's brother asked, "Should he buy Bitcoin yesterday?" Well, he doesn't invest at all, hasn't got an account. And then when people who have no accounts are asking should they buy Bitcoin, that's a sign.
This reminds me of a story.
Yeah. So this guy, in fact, do you know what? Glenn Goodman started to say that story on Thursday on the podcast, on Tuesday. I said, "Glenn, stop. What do you mean? So what do you mean? Just stop it." I said, whenever I say that on the weekend podcast, the boys just make fun. So don't of me. So don't.
Is that Glenn Goodman from ITV News?
Yes, he was on ITV News. Now he's got a book, The Crypto Trader. Yeah, ITV Business News. Anyway, listen. So even when you start off, one of the most important things ever is to literally, open a stocks and shares ISA account. That way, any gains you make is tax free. And I always do that because people make a mistake and open up the other account and they start doing well. If you go over 12 £1,300 in profit, which is a decent chunk, of course, you have to start paying in capital gains tax. You've gained on the capital if you sell the stock, that is, if you make a sale and you make the profit. And it's basically 10% for the basic rate of tax. It's linked to what you pay, your rate of tax, basically, and 20% for higher. That may double coming up. Rishi Sunak is looking at ways to get some money, because they're in the hole. So that may double in the March budget. So whatever you do, set up a stocks and shares ISA account because you don't want to be trapped in that. If you make a fabulous, if you bag the next Apple, for example, or Tesla, or whatever, or next Bitcoin, whatever, in stock and shares form, and it goes nuts, and you make a lot of money, you don't have to give all that to the tax man. A lot of it to the tax man. So just chuck it. Start the ISA first and foremost. Everyone, if anyone asks you about investing,
do it now. Do it now because April is approaching, so you get your new tax, new allowance.
Yeah. You got 20 grand a year you can put into an ISA, and
the irony there would be that Apple don't pay any tax, but you would get taxed on the profits you make on Apple.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep.
Political.
Sorry.
Oh yes. Okay. Paddy politics again. Steve, you mentioned. By the way, let's look at the lockdowns here. Okay, so you reckon lockdown ends 31st of March? Steve, Paddy's 1st of June. Pete's 12th of June. 15th of March, I said. We're talking about any lockdown release now, aren't we? Anything. It's looking good for me, isn't it? 15th of March.
If you're talking about Wales, I think Wales might start coming out of a partial lockdown by the end of March.
End of March, 31st of March. Wales, though, they locked down and then
I thought when we were completely out of lockdown.
Oh, no.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
I cycled up to London last weekend, and I've been working from home I've been working pretty hard, so I haven't really had a chance to leave the house. I was really surprised at how busy it was. Like, it didn't feel like much of a lockdown. Yeah. So it sort of feels like, so we've got bars and restaurants and whatever shut down, like leisure. We've got schools shut down. It doesn't really feel like much else is shut down, though.
No, I know. I said the traffic on the roads, it's not a lockdown. I see normal amounts of traffic. I know, around by me. So that's quite encouraging, really. When you see the R rate is down between 0.7 and 0.9, that shows to me people are going around. They're more aware of social distancing and all that. But, if the R rate is that low and people are, activity is quite normal, the supermarkets and all that stuff, pretty much you wear masks.
Yeah, but people aren't going, they're in their cars, sure. Where are they all going? They're going to beauty spots to go for a walk or whatever.
Where are they all going? I don't know where they're all going.
And they're probably not generally going to other people's houses. But they might be.
Maybe just start a survey, Pete. Just stand on the side of the road with traffic lights with a clipboard.
Where are you going?
Excuse me, where are you going? Going to the shops. I bet most of them are just going to the shops. Just going to the supermarket.
Go for a drive to get out of the house.
We're going to a beauty spot.
Yeah, go for a beauty spot, go for a nice walk.
Yeah, between me and the missus, we'd like to do it outdoors. So we're going to pull up.
It's got a lovely beauty spot.
Yeah, we're going to pull up and we'll see the missus' beauty spots. Yeah. So, All right, then, so Steve, okay, TV recommendations. Steve, hang on, Steve, you didn't not watch all the Trump show. The Trump show was 5 episodes.
I did watch it all.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched it all in one night, actually, or one day.
Wow, it's good, didn't it, towards when you start getting mad?
Because I watched it, and then I recommended it to my brother-in-law, who likes politics kind of documentaries, and he then came back to me and said, you should watch the Hillary documentary. And to be fair, I wasn't that interested. And then I thought, I'd just stuck it on, and actually, I got really good, actually. So, yeah, I highly recommend the Hillary documentary on Sky.
Hillary Brown, is it, from Conning Street?
That's the one, yep.
Yeah, no, Hillary I'm done. So Hillary Clinton, you fancied her after that, Steve, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You said you fancied her.
No, you're joking. No, I've got a lot more respect for her.
Yeah, we know what that means. If you were sitting there next to Hillary saying, Hillary, I've got a lot more respect for you after watching the, fancy this dog.
If I'm honest, I think the Hillary documentary is better than the Trump
No
one.
ways! No way!
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it then, because Trump one, he is mad, isn't he? You realise, when you get to the Trump show on BBC iPlayer, when you get to sort of episode 3, you realise the guy is completely delusional. He literally does not believe in any of the experts in their fields. He thinks he's better than all of them, pretty much. And when they went over that thing again, when he was standing at the press conference suggesting ways to kill coronavirus from bleach to ultraviolet light, and that female, the scientist, doctor, whatever she was, sitting on the side, looked physically uncomfortable, moving her legs around, not even acknowledging him, saying, I can't believe I'm hearing this. And literally, and he kept looking at her, nodding, can we do that some way? Can we get some light into the body, UV, because it does some tremendous things, so really, or bleach, and she was like, is he really saying this? And he's realised he's got the confidence of a man who's done quite well in life and always thinks he's right about everything, and you think, how does that work? But it was always going to end like this for Trump, wasn't it? In a bad way kind of thing, It was always in a car crash, sooner or later. When you see someone travelling on the road like that, erratically at 100 miles an hour, something's going to hit the bend sooner or later and come off the tracks. And it has.
Well, your analogies are all quite automotive-based today, aren't they? I've noticed that.
That's the thing.
It's quite ridiculous. And looking back, you just, even now, and then it's just quite immediate history, isn't it? But in years to come, people look back and go, how did that 4-year period happen? I mean, it was... He's just he's incredibly dumb, isn't he? He's not very intelligent.
Well, no, I was in the shower. I was having this exact thought. I was thinking, sometimes he comes across really stupid, and other times he's quite cognizant. What he's saying is quite, he's articulate in certain areas. And I'm thinking, how does that measure up then? Because you can't just say he's stupid, because he's not stupid, but in some areas he's incredibly stupid. But I thought, how does that part of the brain, be? It's almost like different parts of the brain. How does that part of the brain not know the other part of the brain's not being stupid? Because that thing about COVID, that was nuts. And I think, where's that coming from? And I thought, that's not. And yet,
he clearly just had a briefing where they talked about some of the things that kills a virus, and he decided to sort of extrapolate from that ways that you might be able to do that in it. But like in some ways,
he's got verbal diarrhea, hasn't he? He just
I suppose so.
To say something.
There's no barrier. No, it just comes out.
Yeah.
In some ways, that is that sort of, I don't know whether there's a little bit of autism in there or something, but that sort of clarity of thought is in some ways how good ideas come about. You don't filter out the stuff that other people would filter. But with him, it just went so far. It was crazy because there was no one around him to say no. Like sometimes you need some people to just sort of like manage that.
There were people saying no, and then they just got sacked. And
That, if you look at the people, I was aware at the time there's a lot of people being sacked, but I didn't realise that was at CNN. The people don't like him. Had that board, had 4 boards of names that he'd been sacked since he'd been there. It was like literally hundreds of people, phenomenal. And you realise and he was things they're saying that people said it's chaos, and just how rude he was. Some of the reporters, no, you and he said that guy. Do you remember that guy at the end? The guy questioned him. He said, "Who are you? I'm the president. Have some respect. I'm the president of the United States. You're a lightweight." And I think, well, you don't speak to anyone like that. You're a person on all these, airs and graces and titles are rubbish. I never believe in any of that nonsense. I think you are a person on the planet like another person on the planet. Don't be rude to someone. Treat others, always the golden rule. Treat others as you'd like to be treated, and then everyone will get on well. And just he's not. He understands he's at a certain level and he can be rude to other people, But it's worth watching. Steve, you mentioned something else. You said I'd like it because what was it? You mentioned something else. What was that?
Oh, I started watching it last night. It's on Sky Atlantic 000, which is it's about a family business who export drugs across the world. That's all I'm going to say, really. But it's really good.
I do that. Is it like Ozark? Have you seen Ozark? I loved Ozark.
It's not really. It's more like is it Gomorrah?
You said Gomorroth. Yeah, Gomorrah. Yeah, Gomorrah is brilliant.
That was right. What I said. Yeah, it's the same writers or directors as that. And
watch that. Good, Steve. You come up with some good recommendations. I love Gomorrah. There's a couple of things I'm waiting for to come back on, and that's Ozark, Succession, and Gomorrah. Those 3 I really love on TV. Worth watching. Yeah, so 000 on Sky. Is it Sky Atlantic?
Sky Atlantic, yeah.
Anything else, boys? Any recognition from you boys? More?
Great pottery throwdown.
What?
Right.
What?
Okay.
It's really satisfying on a Sunday evening just to watch people make things. I really like it.
What is it?
Okay, you weren't joking. Okay.
What is it? What is it? I didn't hear you say.
It's like a pottery show. It's like Bake Off, but for pottery.
They
got them to make busts of famous people's head and shoulders this week, and when they put them in the oven, like all their faces blew off. So when they got them out, they basically all had monsters. Like there was this geezer who'd made Dolly Parton, and like her whole face had exploded.
I was expecting other parts of it to explode, but there we are. All right. That's not for me, I don't think. I'll give that a miss. I'll go for
Give
zero.
it a go.
Okay.
You like it.
Cool. Anything else, Pete? Have you watched anything?
The Lance Armstrong documentary on iPlayer, if you're into cycling, or even if you're not into cycling, that's quite. It's nothing you don't know already about him, but he's just a bizarre character, really, in terms of that whole episode of cycling.
That's nuts, isn't it?
His complete denial is just incredible, and it shows historic footage, and then it's an interview with him now looking back, and he's a very mixed up character. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I read the book, and the thing is, when you read it, and then obviously this book came out before all the sort of controversy about drug taking and all that, enhanced drugs, but and you don't want to believe it, because you want to believe someone could be superhuman like that. And I don't think anyone knows he's the most celebrated cyclist in the world, pretty much, on Tour de France. Yeah, was, and he literally had cancer. I think after he'd won 5 or 6 Tour de France, he had cancer. There's zero chance of him surviving, pretty much, they said. He had brain cancer way off the grid. People said, wow. And then he came back and survived that and won another Tour de France. And how the heck does that happen? And you realise this guy is superhuman. And he did say at the time, I don't feel pain as much as others. I got bigger lung capacity and all that stuff. He kept saying, and I was like, okay, maybe he is superhuman. Then you realise it's down to drugs, a lot of it, So
when he went on to win 7 Tour de France's, and at the time, a lot of people in cycling were all kind of like, that doesn't really stack up, because then if you look at the times and look at whatever, it's just a bit like too good to be true. This is probably something shady going on here, and it was a matter of time. But then as it came out, and you see the fallout, it's incredible. And then it obviously swept the world in like a day, didn't it? Of like when he admitted it, and the financial impact as well, and all the rest of it. Pretty nuts. But it's a good. It's a long. It's 2-parter, and they're both like 90 minutes long. But
I like that on treadmill. I'm getting through stuff. I did yesterday. I realised I did yesterday on my 50th birthday. Before 8:15, I'd done 40 minutes running, 100 press-ups, 100 sit-ups. I'd done an intro for a webinar, and I'd interviewed a CEO for a podcast, and in a smaller podcast as well, before 8:15. And that's age is a thing of the mind. I'm 50. I think I'm starting a new chapter here. I think people realise as you get older. I don't feel 50 at all. I don't feel anywhere near 50. When my kids see the number 50, and they see it as really old. But you realise. It's not actually
really old.
It's up to what
really old.
Shut up. This is what you want to do, though, isn't it? In your life, it's up to you. Put back in. By the way, one of the things I've been doing on the SharePickers Investment Club is a section called resources, and how to research, and what to do, what to look for, things I use for researching. One of the things you should always do on companies is always check out their social media, always go on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that, Twitter. And in fact, just now discovered, if you go on YouTube, Escape and just uploaded quite a new 4 new videos, 3 new videos.
Ooh, is that Goblin Geezer in there?
No, so it's worth watching.
His name Chris.
Like that, just, always. If you research a company, 360, go around it. Not only look at what their release, but everything, their digital footprint all over the internet. Look at it.
Yeah, you can tell a lot from a company from like stuff with like their logo and their website and how good their social media content is. Like this suggests a company that really knows what it's doing.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I saw Majestic Wine had a new logo this week that was very nice, that made me think about them as a good company.
I know, small little things like that, but if you look at the production values on Escape, it's very good. And you think, do you know what? That is not, when we started buying this company, it was like, 10 million market or less than that. I think that seems like a brand leader, a market leader. Just the branding, everything there.
Well run, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. So it does. And I can't see why anyone can't see this as a proper market leading brand that'd be well known in a few years' time. But anyway, I've said that before. Boys, I think last weekend, who's England playing this weekend?
Italy.
Oh, there we are. We may get an easy win there.
Okay.
They've got to kick them off, really. I've always thought that they should do this thing.
They should get rid of them. It's not working, is it? 20 years, they're still rubbish.
I know, but they should give them a chance. I think they should swap in, swap out. It should be like, if you lose to become the bottom 2 years in a row, you're out. Someone else comes in. Like
that's what Sam Warburton was
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like USA comes in, or one of the teams comes in, or who's that country who's quite good recently? Was it like
Georgia,
South American team, is Japan, South American team. Who was it?
Argentina.
Yeah, the bit of that, shake it up a bit.
Yeah, they're in the southern hemisphere, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay. But you'd be a guess anyway. Could be a guest. You could have anyone. You could have like a local rugby team.
Well, you may as well.
And the 15s as well.
Some of the Premiership teams would be better than Italy. But either they need to say as a five nations unions and get together and go like this country needs some more investment. They get a little bit more money from the pot than everyone else. I mean, that's unlikely. Or they need to just get rid of them because they're rubbish.
I know. I think they need to. I think a wild card every year would be more surprised, wouldn't they? Just say things like, "This year's wild card is Eastleigh under 15s." In Hampshire, they're playing. They're get trounced and smashed. But or ladies' team, or Kent in the ladies' team. Or just check that out. Just a surprise every year. Just mix it up a bit. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it.
Well,
Boys,
write that down. That's an idea.
I'll send that in to them. Have you ever thought about including Eastleigh under 15s? They're quite good, So
instead of Italy.
Yeah. They give Italy a run for their money. Loves, cheers, boys. Have a nice weekend. Speak to you next week.
Happy birthday.
Bye-bye.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Well, hello.
Bye. I sound low.
Settle out.
The Weekend Podcast on Vox Markets with Justin, Peter and Steve. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.